1 Now the serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God actually say, you shall not eat of any tree in the garden? 2 And the woman said to the serpent, and why may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden? 3 But God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. 4 But the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. 5 For God knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. 6 So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, and she took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. 7 Then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. 8 And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. 9 But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, where are you? 10 And he said, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. 11 He said, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you not to eat? 12 The man said, the woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit of the tree, and I ate. 13 Then the Lord God said to the woman, what is this that you have done? The woman said, the serpent deceived me, and I ate. 14 The Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. And the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring, he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. 16 To the woman he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule Adam, he shall over you. And he's 17 that listen, vooral verwoond voor weffen en wat met de wife van you, or because there's the run, in plantation of in painting you. It's hard to for it doesn't matter like that. Dus roemen en vrees all 18 Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. 19 By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. 20 The man called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. 21 And the Lord God made for Adam and for his wife garments of skins and clothed them. 22 Then the Lord God said, behold, the man has become like one of us in knowing good and evil. Now, lest he reach out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. 23 Therefore the Lord God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he was taken. 24 He drove out the man, and at the east of the Garden of Eden he placed the cherubim and a flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. Chapter 4:1 Now Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. 2 And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. 3 In the course of time Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. 4. And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. 5. But for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. 6. The Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why has your face fallen?" 7. If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. 8. Cain spoke to Abel his brother. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. 9. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" He said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" 10. And the Lord said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." 11. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. 12. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. 13. Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is greater than I can bear." 14. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. 15. Then the Lord said to him, "Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord put a mark on Cain, lest any who found him should attack him. 16. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. And 17. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. When he built a city, he called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. 18. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad fathered Mehujael, and Mehujael fathered Methushael, and Methushael fathered Lamech. 19. And Lamech took 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. 20. Adah bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. 21. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and pipe. 22. Zillah also bore Tubal. Cain, he was the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal, Cain, was Naamah. 23. Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, "Hear my voice, you wives of Lamech. Listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me." 24. If Cain's revenge is sevenfold, then Lamech's is 77-fold. 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called his name Seth, for she said, "God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him." 26. To Seth also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. At that time people began to call upon the name of the Lord.